Starting to the bottom left for TeamLiquid.net is our Protoss player. Starting in red, and his ID is
Liquid Hero.
Bit of a late pylon for him.
He was very confident going into this group, but he's already 0-1. Lost his first game. He's up against the Zerg player to the top right. Starting for LGIM is, of course,
LGIM NesTea.
Spent too much time with life in Paris, I think. He's doing that extractor trick. And actually, he's going to go for the 11 pool.
Yeah, he's doing what he does again, what he did against Parting. When he beat Parting, he was able to qualify for the Iron Squid finals in Paris. And what he did there was going for very aggressive build orders for early pools against the, back then, StarTale player. And he's playing this in a way that he can still recover. He can go into an expansion, but it's just trying to mess with the timing of the Protoss player as much as possible, trying to put pressure on him and get into his head.
Yeah. This is, you know, it's kind of unfortunate for NesTea at this point in time because he's been scouted so early. Hero immediately reacts by making the forge. He's even harassing and limiting the already further limited by the missing drones mining of NesTea.
I would be really surprised though if NesTea didn't know that he would be scouted here. Of course, there's sometimes the case where a Protoss player will not really scout your main base, you know, just try to get more minerals out. But NesTea with this build and going into an 11 pool, this is one of those strategies where you can still fall back. Yeah. You try to mess with the timings, try to go in with the Zerglings, but then you always follow it up with an expansion. So this is exactly what we're going to see from NesTea here. He's already in position with his drone and trying to chase the probe away.
You also get a faster queen with this, so you get a little bit of extra larva. Just slightly faster, a little bit more accelerated. And Hero has to make the cannon before the Nexus, so his Nexus is also delayed.
And you can really see how NesTea adjusts his build. NesTea starts with an early pull, and then he sees the probe. If he doesn't see the probe and there's no scout, then he will produce more Zerglings, because he's like, well, you don't scout, so you probably will start with an early Nexus and delay your cannon a little bit. So if I send Zerglings your way, I might get into your main base and I have an early lead immediately. But if you scout it, then you will react, your build will be changed, and therefore the damage is already done. I myself can just start with my expansion, only produce 2 Zerglings to chase your probe away, will get the faster expansion, get my third at a normal timing, and I'm still completely fine.
Yeah. So NesTea is still, without a doubt, in good shape here. Now, we'll see what Hero's got planned. Likely, as we mentioned before, Stargate play is going to be the tech of choice. Almost everybody is doing that, unless they're taking a fast third. And even most people who are taking fast thirds nowadays are doing it with Stargate before the fast third.
Yeah. NesTea is now he has started his third base at a normal timing. He has now his hatch at the natural ready. Hero is even scouting, and you can see that NesTea is there with a hovering overlord. At the third base, really important, because what Hero could do here is just go for a cannon attack at the third. If there's no scout whatsoever and the Zerglings don't really follow this up, then a pylon might go undetected, and as soon as you have 1 or 2 cannons there, it's really tough to hold this third base.
Yeah. Ling misses the probe here. I mean, he saw it, but NesTea didn't see it. So the Ling will... Yeah.
Oh wow, he sees it again for just a second. Not even a second, but yeah, he has no idea that it's actually there.
Hero's probe is like on an angle on the side of that platform, like going sideways. That's how barely he's able to see him.
And this is annoying. NesTea knows that there has to be a probe somewhere, but he can't find it. Really annoying for him. And Hero is, of course, going into the Stargate tech that we already suspected. He built the pylon in the bottom left of the main base, which usually indicates Stargate play, and also means most of the time that you are trying to hide your Phoenixes and blindside your opponent.
Yeah. See how NesTea responds. He's taking 2 gases right now at the natural, and like Stefano oftentimes does. And Phoenix is going to be a problem for NesTea if he doesn't see him. Right now he's got 2 overlords to scout, but they are at the natural, not anywhere near the main. So he's not going to be able to use those at all to see the Stargate. So if Hero wants it to be a surprise, it's going to be a surprise.
The Stalker immediately reacting to the approaching Zergling, sees that he doesn't stand a chance on creep and moves back. The Zealot is taking the hits, and now the Stalker trying to battle it out with the Queen, but the Zerglings are there to save the day. The Queen alone wouldn't have been able to make this happen.
Second Stalker here is going to make this a little bit more annoying for NesTea, but he may get a grab here, almost gets it.
Lair tech has now been started for NesTea, even before he started his speed upgrade. So he dedicates the first 100 gas that he has right into the Lair tech. Can therefore go for a bit of a faster attack later on. And so far he didn't see, NesTea that is, didn't see any of those Phoenixes.
Yeah, he's totally in the dark here. More and more of his lings are getting taken out. This forces him to use Larva for more lings to replace them. Well, normally, but in fact NesTea is not making any more lings, now starts 2. So he is really not overcommitting. The thing is, I really like what NesTea's done here because he's going to lose his queen though, maybe. If he doesn't make lings and Hero gets scared thinking lings are coming and he knows that speed is going to finish soon, he might just leave. But Hero's not taking the bluff, and he actually should be able to kill his queen. At the very least, the Phoenixes will kill a lot easier because it's so weakened.
Yep, if you reduce the hit points on a queen, the Phoenixes will have a very easy time taking it down. And it's gonna... The problem is it cuts into the time that you try to buy to get the Spore Crawler up. So if the queen dies really fast, first of all, you don't need 3 Phoenixes. 4,
yeah.
3 are enough. That's
3.
exactly what we see right now. Even 2 would have been okay. But now he's going to lose even more, and the Spore Crawlers have just now been started.
NesTea's not pulling his Overlords at all. He pulls them towards the Phoenix now, of course, which is also towards the Spine Crawler, but they're going to have to get through the Phoenixes first.
And the Queen is going to be killed. He's losing 2 of them. The Spore Crawler is going to be there, but with good micro, he will still be able to take down an Overlord or 2. NesTea actually going into Spire and a Hydra Den now.
Yeah. And that one Overlord barely escapes, at least for now. Oh, a bad rally by NesTea is going to cost him another Overlord.
Yeah, and he's going to be supply blocked here.
NesTea with a shaky defense here in his third.
But one of the things that NesTea does immediately is build a lot of Overlords when he sees those Phoenixes. He knows that he can't avoid losing Overlords here, and that's exactly what he tries to compensate for. He's losing another one already, and those Phoenixes will see the one hovering on top of this ventilator, and there it is.
This is just so annoying for NesTea. Void Ray comes out now with the Observer to clear up creep, but NesTea is not, as far as I can tell, a single creep tumor on the map.
No.
He has not even one.
Not even once. Ah, he gets another queen, but then the Hydralisks just pop out. Ooh, and Hero is actually able to get away with all of those Phoenixes. That was very good reflexes.
Yeah, he knows about the Hydras. Regardless, before he even saw them, he had the Robotic Sport Bay on the way. Phoenixes cannot lift that hatchery, but that's what the Void Ray is going to help out against potentially now.
The robotics is already there, and this is of course the direct counter to the Hydralisks.
Yeah.
If he gets the range upgrade and gets the first Colossus out, then a Hydra push is not going to be an issue. But NesTea doesn't even think about being aggressive here. He just tries to use the Hydralisks as defensive means, trying to hold the 4th base that is currently building. And that's where creep spread would actually be really good for him.
And Hero is killing Hydras and drones, whatever he finds. Anything that's long distance mining, anything that's on rally that's not attacking, he's going to kill it. He's killed so much here.
He's taking advantage of NesTea's creep spread. NesTea's creep spread is not good, and that's why those Hydralisks and the Queens can't really protect anything. They can't walk between the natural and the 3rd and the 4th base, so those Phoenixes are just way too mobile for NesTea to deal with.
Now Hero's got a 3rd base going up. He has the Colossi coming out, and he could, if he wants to, even attack with the Colossi at NesTea's 3rd, because NesTea does not have any Corruptors, and he knows this. NesTea will probably start them very soon.
NesTea lost about 2,000 resources, whereas Hero only lost 150. So the harass here by Hero is excellent. Not only limiting the movements of NesTea, but also doing a lot of damage. And NesTea is now going into a Mutalisk pattern, so he doesn't build Corruptors in addition to the Hydras that he has. He wants to go for this deadly ball of Mutalisks that can one-shot Phoenixes, or at least do a lot of damage. Try to clump them together, and as soon as the Phoenixes get close enough, you get a one-shot off, and you can take down the Phoenix or at least damage it severely.
Yeah. By the way, 5th base of NesTea is... did he not see that? Yeah, he sees it now. He's just sends one Zealot because he knows that one Zealot will be plenty enough with the army nearby.
Hero does not have Blink. He's now just building the Templar Archive, so the Mutalisks at the beginning will be doing a lot here. The problem is that with a Forge, Hero should immediately start building a couple of cannons in his main base to make sure that there's no counterattack.
Yeah. NesTea is now facing a force that's too strong to fight straight up with his mutas, and he will actually probably lose his 4th here.
I think Hero doesn't know about those. Ah, now he knows. Now he's seen the Mutalisks.
And I don't think NesTea can hold here. He's going to have to go for a counterattack, but the counterattack could be very dangerous. Hero has nothing set up.
One lone Mutalisk is trying to do something. And yeah, here we go. The cannons are not there yet. He's just trying to build a few, but that's already too late. And there's no problem for the Hydralisk to take this out. And the few Phoenixes just don't stand a chance.
They're trying to buy time, and Hero needs to pull his probes away. Spines go up at home for NesTea because he knows this may become a trade.
Hero is actually moving back. He's not trading, he's moving back right now, and he's catching 2 Mutalisks, but the problem is that in the main base, he's trying to warp in more units. He's losing so much against those Phoenixes, against the Mutalisks, losing the Void Ray. He might actually lose the Colossi here.
Zealots will take out the third base of NesTea. The Colossi do get microed back. He saves them against not only the Hydras, but also the Mutas.
There's no Blink. Hero does not have Blink. This is his biggest problem here. He's trying to catch up with those Mutalisks, but without Blink, this is nearly impossible.
He has the resources. He has the Twilight Council. He's starting more Phoenixes right now.
He's just pressured so much.
Yeah, the probe's so vulnerable here.
And suddenly, NesTea is 50 supply ahead. Hero was dominating this early game, but NesTea is able to hide the Mutalisks. The Spire is something that Hero might have seen, but he didn't expect this many Mutalisks to be out there, and suddenly he can't deal with them. He's getting now cannons up, additional Phoenixes. What he really needs is the Blink upgrade.
Yeah, that would be ideal for him.
Big problem for him is that he even lost his Cybernetics core earlier, so he can't even get additional Stalkers.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why he starts Phoenixes again. But I would really like to see him get Blink as well. I mean, if you're not going to make Stalkers use that gas. Oh, now his main is under siege again. He's got some Phoenixes here, but his probes are not as quick. They're not going to be as lucky here.
NesTea already took down 31 Harvesters in this game, and Hero is really in a bad spot now. He's struggling. His third base is being attacked. Ling's running in. Thankfully, there are already Colossi and the rest of the army of heroes, so he can hold those 3 bases. But NesTea is now getting another 3 hatchers. He's getting double base and actually triple base.
Yeah.
His third was destroyed, so he has to rebuild it.
He's basically rebuilding everything. The Dark Shrine comes out here. This is going to have 2 purposes. One, of course, will be the DTs. The second one will allow him to make Archons with any DTs he's not able to utilize otherwise.
He still has a good economy, you know? I mean, Hero is down in Harvesters. He's at 54, but he is on 3 bases. And saturating those 3 mineral lines, that is doing quite a lot for him. And with the additional cannons that we now have for Hero, he is in a spot where he can defend a little bit better against the Mutalisks.
And finally, there's the Blink. He's getting the Blink. He has 5 Phoenixes. This army, though, is not enough without the Phoenixes. He needs to bring those Phoenixes over right away. The Stalker's coming down as well.
There are more than 30 Mutalisks, and he's going in. He's taking down Stalker after Stalker. And he could actually take out this army. There's not a lot of anti-air left. Now the rest of the Stalkers finally happen to be there. Yeah. 12 of them. But the Mutalisks are just bouncing into the main base now, and they can take down the Stalkers that have been warped in.
A lot of hesitation by NesTea during some of those fights, but the Blink, imagine if he had Blink, how much better that fight could have been for him. The Phoenix is now trying to chase, to pick off a few more Mutas. Mutas turn around, pick off one of the Phoenixes. This is what we've talked about before. When the Mutalisk count gets big enough, you can just turn around and fight like that.
Hero was so pressured that he just forgot to get the Blink upgrade. He probably thought that he hit it, and but didn't. And then at some point he was like, why can't I Blink? Why is this upgrade not done? Then he checked the Twilight Council and saw, oh, I didn't start it yet. That's probably what happened here. There's no other explanation with all the money that he had banked up.
Yeah.
But the damage has been done, you know. I mean, it's nice that you realize it at this time, and he needs to get it. But there has been so much damage done to Hero, and his T is now suddenly on 5 bases against 3.
This DT is going to be seen. Barely gets away. Queen could be assassinated. No. Hero has a good composition going for him now, though. He just needs to take a 4th base.
Yeah. Those Spore Crawlers really help NesTea out now. He can take down the Dark Templar without a problem, and he knows that there's a Dark Shrine. So this is one of the things where he will now get the additional Overseers, and he will try to protect his bases.
Oh, this base is a bit exposed. He's got nothing over here. No Spines, no Spores, no Overseers. He has to pull his drones away.
It shouldn't be too bad, though. He should be able to get in with the Overseer and the Lings and Mutalisks. So he's not going to lose the base. He's going to lose a few Harvesters. But he's still increasing his Mutalisk count. We have him at 27 now, and he's going to 31, even getting the armor upgrade. Now he really wants to fight with this army and not only dash in and do damage.
Yeah, he wants to actually use his composition throughout the late game. It starts to look like Mutas try to trade against the Stalkers. Blink is done now. He blinks really well here. The Colossus comes out, but here come the Phoenixes. These are a problem.
Oh, the Zerglings,
though, He has to deal with the Lings. The Colossus is now going to be targeted by the Mutas.
The Mutalisks are going in, and Hero is trying what he can, trying to micro his heart out with the Phoenixes. He has the blink upgrade now. With a good blink, he might be able to blink beneath those few Mutalisks. He can pull it off, and with all those cannons, they really secure his mineral lines. Hero doing a great job here.
Yeah, takes out the space as well, the bottom right, just barely. But he still doesn't have a fourth. And NesTea still has 3 bases. He has a lot of spines. He's going to remake that hatchery. And the map control is NesTea's. But Hero's army is looking at basically as strong as it ever has. He's now got a moment where he can move across the map and start to bully NesTea.
Losing this base was a big blow to NesTea's economy. And NesTea is still on lair tech. He's not going into Hive. He's currently in a state where he wants to end this game. And every single time Hero takes down a base, NesTea is losing momentum. And also, as soon as we have more and more upgrades for Hero, who just started now +3/+3, his forces will get so much stronger compared to NesTea's.
Yeah. Nice blink here.
Hero was in a position where he was pressured so much and he was about to break apart, but then he stabilized again, and now he's suddenly the one who is just moving out over and over again, putting those forces of NesTea under pressure, forcing them back, getting another base, getting a fourth, getting more cannons in the main, upgrades, and NesTea has to watch out because Hero is also closing the gap in supply.
Yeah. He just continues to trade extremely efficiently, like we just saw there, taking out a hatchery with 5 zealots. It's actually going to clear up the middle of the map as well, so you can move through and do bigger and faster counterattacks and run-bys. This is a problem. The main base now completely exposed. The Templar Archives is exposed. The probes, the cannon, even the pylons.
There's nothing at all. He needs to warp in units, and that's the one thing that he needs to do. He tries to walk back with the Stalkers, but does he have enough time? The Stargate is suddenly unpowered. He's trying to get the Templar Archive. He could actually snipe it, and he should.
I don't think he realizes now he does.
Yeah, now he does, and he has to take it out, because the big problem for him is going to be Storm. If Storm is part of Hero's composition, then there's not a lot that NesTea can do with outer lair tech. Sorry, a Hive tech.
Yeah. And Hero is Phoenix count is pretty low. He only has 4, and he's always had about 4 to 6, generally speaking, in this game.
Phoenixes are useless too.
Exactly, and he needs that archive. He could try to make more Phoenixes, but it's too little too late. You know, you don't want the Mulus count to get out of control. If you can contain it early with your Phoenixes, that's one thing, but
with a range upgrade for the Phoenixes, maybe, and if you have a double Stargate, but at this point, Phoenixes just don't cut it anymore. You need a lot more Phoenixes, and he doesn't have the resources to go into a double Stargate play and get the Fleet Beacon for
and survive. You know, I mean, he could do all these things if he had all these bases for free running, but NesTea says no. NesTea has killed so many Harvesters this game.
NesTea is fighting this. NesTea is trying to fight it. +3/+3 isn't done, but the reinforcements for Hero are there. And this is just such a tough battle. NesTea knows that this is a game that he might lose. He looked very dominant in the late mid-game, but at this point, he is always there to do damage. The problem is that time is working in Hero's favor, not in NesTea's.
Yeah. Hero has the 4th base secured. Now we have 4 base against 5 base. Look at this. He's trying to pick off some of the weekend Mutas with his Phoenixes. This is actually really well done. I like this a lot. Now the Mutas are basically trapped. Oh, he barely gets away. But still, a really nice idea. Well played, and he will actually catch a few more of the Mutas on the left side. But the Templar Archives in the main is under siege by a second group of Mutas. That's how many Mutas he has. He has 35.
The big problem is, yes, he researched Storm, but he didn't get High Templars out in time. Oh, this is really bad. This is really, really bad for Hero. I mean, the upgrades, this is his big advantage. He has 3/3 now, and NesTea is not able to get additional upgrades up to the point where he has Hive Tech. He just started his Infestation Pit, though it's going to take a long time for him to actually start additional upgrades. So, this is the one thing that really works for Hero, and he has 4 bases. But NesTea is on 67 Harvesters, he's on 5 bases, he has a good economy, he's now starting the additional attack, and let's be honest about it, 40 Mutalisks, that's going to do a lot.
Yeah, it's gonna. Oh wow! He makes even more.
He actually didn't get Storm. I thought I saw it finish, but he has to research it again.
It got killed just before it finished, so this is just a big issue. He's got closer to max supply, but he's losing more and more Harvesters. He cannot build a bank like NesTea is starting to build, and he doesn't have any sort of higher tech until he has that Storm out.
The base is gone and takes it out. And now he's moving in with those Banelings. NesTea is picking off a few of the Stalkers, not really trying to engage in the battle.
Yeah, Hero with some really nice micro tactics here, blinking 2 Stalkers into the Banelings to make sure the splash damage is wasted on individual Stalkers, doing it one at a time.
10 Mutalisks are being built at a time. 10!
He's just wearing Hero down. He's now going to fight on the edge of these Stalkers because there's not enough Stalkers in the main.
And who knows better how to play this style than NesTea.
Exactly, right? So as soon as the Stalkers blink in, he pulls back. Then when the rest of the Stalkers get bugged out and has to start to run around the corner, then he fights it. NesTea is actually the pathing master. NesTea knows where every unit is going to path at any moment in time, especially on this map, it feels like.
Storm is done though, and we have High Templars, so NesTea has to be very careful. If he eats the Storm or 2, then his Mutalisks will all just die. 3 bases at this point for the Protoss player. Hive Tech halfway completed for NesTea. This is such an intense battle.
Yeah. Hero is about to run out of money. He has that 4th base mining. The 3rd he's remaking right now has barely any minerals at it. Oh no, he's going to lose way too much here. I feel NesTea is going to trade so efficiently. Sends the Lings in. Banelings are getting ready. Every second he spends not firing on his Stalkers is one the Mutas are going to love, but the Storm is good.
The Storm is good indeed, but the Banelings are moving in right now. Nope, they don't. They actually moved back again.
Yeah, I was concerned for those Banelings. Oh, the Nexus is going to get cancelled. This is a big problem. The Banelings come in, they're going to target down the Nexus.
No, they're trying to go for the
probes.
Yeah. And they get most of them. They take most of the probes, and now they could take down the cannons. They're trying to get close, taking down one of the cannons. The other Nexus had to be cancelled, and he always kills a couple of a couple of Stalkers. That's what he's trying to do here. Just wear down the defense of Hero, and it looks like he's able to pull it off. He has a 50 supply lead now. He's in the main base, and Hero is not able to really defend it. He's actually trying to go for the counter attack instead.
Yeah. Hero is basically trying to deal with the Mutas still, but the bigger problem is the economy of his opponent. His Harvester count is now down to 18, which is going to saturate the only base he has. So I guess the Harvester count is not as big of a problem as it seems.
Hero is trying to go for it, but there are so many Spinecrawlers. The Storm against the Banelings, halfway successful, but he loses too much. Hero is already below 100 supply. The main base still being attacked by the Mutalisks, but as long as the Spinecrawlers are there, it's so tough for the Protoss to actually do something here.
He's got that 3rd base now under attack with their Spines here. The Banelings come down.
All the gateways are unpowered. He cannot get additional units into the game.
This is the last army of Hero that you're going to see. If he doesn't win the game with this, then it's over.
Here comes another Storm, but more and more Stalkers are being eliminated, and there are only 13 left.
The Mutas are going to fight these cannons before they're ready. A good Storm goes off.
And the Storms, that's the only thing that can threaten NesTea at this point. With only 13 Stalkers, that's not enough to take down the Mutalisks that NesTea has. He has still 26, and he's still building more.
And the Nexus is gone. Hero will be revealed in 30 seconds. No, he still has his natural Nexus.
Yeah, he has the Nexus at the natural, but he can't mine. There are no mineral patches left. NesTea is now about to double the supply of Hero.
NesTea just constantly with the Mutalisk aggression never stops. Hero is trying to make this last army that he has work, but against this many Spinecrawlers, it never will. 14 Banelings coming in here for NesTea additionally as well. And Hero, long distance mining from his 4th base. At 78 supply, half of NesTea's. NesTea just makes more and more Banelings. Banelings only right now are on the menu.
This is getting crazy now. Hero is desperate. He knows that he's about to lose this game, and he's just trying to kill this army. If he gets Storms in and takes down the Mutalisks, then he can take it. But if NesTea doesn't make a big mistake, he has this game. And NesTea knows it. Everything is working in his favor at this point. Hero looked like he could come back, but Hero, he goes out. He types GG, loses the game. NesTea wins it after a 30-minute battle. What a game.
And now, next up, we are going to have Maru versus Fantasy. Yet another Terran versus Terran. Maru's Banshees are something that he's going to have to face. But just going back to that game very briefly, last minute overview. The Mutas won the day for NesTea. That's what I said before going into this game. I could see him going Mutas on this map. He does it. He is the Muta master. You see how he paths the Mutas. He takes them around corners where he sees the Stalkers come in the main. He can't fight all the Stalkers, but he knows that if Hero blinks in, Stalkers come in, he fights in the corner, fights those Stalkers where he has the advantage. When the rest of the Stalkers come in, he gets out and goes to another corner.
He just played this really well, and delaying Storm for this long was definitely one of the things that he had to do. I feel the bigger problem was that Hero forgot his blink upgrade, or thought he started it but actually didn't. With a blink upgrade, NesTea would have lost a lot of those initial fights, and those are the fights that are the most important, because back then you have rather small Mutalisk numbers in comparison to the late game. And this really cost him the game. He was trying to protect his third base, trying to protect the main, and NesTea's Mutalisk force is just way too agile for him to keep up with them. So, very well played by NesTea. Hero with a few subtle mistakes in the game that in the end pile up to a huge lead for NesTea, and it costs Hero the game. So now he is 0-2, same amount of matches that Keen is in now.
Yeah,
a very dire situation. Yeah.
At 1-1. So it is a dire situation for both Hero and Keen going into this, and they're going to have to hope for the best going forward. But let's talk a little bit about Maru versus Fantasy. Maru has won both of his matches so far, a Terran vs. Pross and a Terran vs. Terran. In the TVT, he used Banshees really, really well. In the TVP, he used Banshees pretty well. And I think we might see Banshees again. The map that we are going to see this on is going to be Belshir Vestige.
It's going to be an interesting battle, because Fantasy hasn't really shown us anything yet in the Terran vs. Terran. He only showed us his aggression. Well, he's shown us aggression, he didn't show us the late game. That's what I basically wanted to say here.
Exactly. Maru is going to check for proxies for sure. I'm pretty sure going into this.
Also, one thing that's important here is if Maru actually wins this game, then Keen is out. Keen will not be able to go to Code S. If Fantasy takes the game, he's in Code S, and Hero will not go to Code S. So a very important match, not only for the two players that we have on screen now, but also for Hero and Keen.
Yep. Keep that in mind, Keen and Hero fans. No matter who wins this, one of those two players is out. Let's load up the map. I'm in it. It's pausing. Actually, we might have to have a regame, but here we go. Let's just pretend that I didn't say that. Here at the GSL Up and Down Scholar and Wolf.